I've spent years in Hollywood without ever touching the glitter. I'm the girl who holds clipboards, finds actors' managers, smooths tantrums with free coffee, the one who dreams big but never has enough oxygen to say it out loud. But everything changed the night I needed Blake Wilder. Yes, that Blake Wilder. Hollywood's golden chaos. $20 million smile, tabloid wildfire. The man whose kiss I never forgot. Even if he never knew it was me 4 years ago. And now my job, my future, my entire life depended on getting him to say one word. Yes. But life in LA likes to strike from two directions at once. My boss Julian fired me when I couldn't lock Blake down. My brother Carter sold me out to loan sharks. And the world kept reminding me that dreams come with price tags. Mine just happened to be my safety. So when I found Blake's mansion and stepped inside his quiet, impossibly perfect life, pretending I belonged there, I felt like I was walking into the lion's mouth. But I had nothing left to lose. I told myself I was just here to pitch him a role. But when those cool blue eyes locked onto mine, God, a part of me still wanted the man behind the myth. He thought I was seducing him, and when he asked why I was really there, I finally told him, I'm Cleo Marlow. I came to offer you a leading role, and when he laughed, when he dismissed me, I felt everything crumble. I was ready to walk away forever. I didn't know that I'd already left a mark on him. She walked out of my home that morning with her shoulders pulled tight, like she was holding her whole world together with invisible thread, and I let her go. But her name, Cleo Marlow, stayed stuck in my head. She wasn't like the dozens of women who show up trying to sleep their way into fame. She wasn't trying to take anything from me. She wasn't even dressed seductively on purpose. Not really. Everything about her was frantic, raw, honest, terrified. And something about her pulled me straight back to a memory I thought was a dream. A girl in the rain 4 years ago. A stolen kiss, warmth and lightning. Could it have been her? I told myself no. But I still called Olivia, my assistant, to look her up. By the time I realized the truth, that she really was a casting assistant, really had been fired, really was drowning, I was already in my car. And then I heard her scream. Carter's debt collectors grabbed me off the street before I ever made it home. They shoved me into a van, their laughter sticky and dark. And when they sprayed something on me, a drug, they promised I'd learn my place. I thought I would die that night. Then the door ripped open, and Blake Wilder, movie star, world's most photographed man, looked angrier than any hero he'd ever played on screen. He fought them, he defended me, he carried me out like I mattered. The drug blurred my thoughts, but not my desire. And when he asked me if I wanted him, I couldn't lie. I kissed him. And he kissed me like he remembered every second of that first kiss we shared in the rain years earlier. I told myself it was the drug, that he felt nothing real. But the way he held me didn't feel like fantasy. It felt like fate. After she fell asleep in my bed, still trembling from what those men almost did, I sat beside her and realized something I hadn't felt in years. I wanted to protect someone for real. Not because of reputation, not because of PR, but because it was her, Cleo Marlow, the only person who'd ever looked at me like a human being instead of a headline. In the morning, she tried to pretend nothing happened. She tried to pretend she didn't need help, that she didn't need me. But the truth was already written in her voice. So when she walked out of my home the next day, holding herself small again, I didn't stop her. I should have. Because hours later, the paparazzi descended, and like a fool, I thought she'd told them. I hurt her. I pushed her away. I broke something fragile between us. And then, almost immediately, I learned the truth. My maid had called the press, not Cleo. I'd been wrong. Again. And now I had to fix it. Except before I could reach her, she was kidnapped. Again. This city was going to eat her alive if I didn't step in. When Blake burst into that warehouse, his fists, his fury, his devotion, I saw something in him that no tabloid could ever capture. Not the playboy, not the party animal, not the scandal magnate, but a man willing to fight for me before I even believed I deserved saving. When he held me afterward, his breath shaking against my hair, I realized he cared more than he knew how to say. And when he told Julian, my boss, that he refused to do the movie unless I was rehired, I felt my whole world shifting. But this was Hollywood. And in Hollywood, nothing stays soft for long. I signed the movie contract only if Cleo was reinstated. And I watched her boss swallow his pride, watched her coworkers choke on their jealousy, watched Cleo step right back into the room like she'd been holding power her whole life. God, I was proud, but I didn't take the role for the studio. I took it for her, because I wanted a reason to see her every day, even if she still didn't trust me, even if she still thought she was temporary. But she wasn't. Not to me, not anymore. He asked me quietly, gently, to move in with him for safety. And even though my heart hammered like it was trying to escape my ribs, I said yes. But I asked him one question. If I move in, will you touch me again? And when he whispered, only if you want me to, I realized I was falling hard. But Hollywood has a way of destroying everything you hold too tightly. And Vivian St. James, Blake's glamorous, poisonous co-star, had just noticed I existed, and she wasn't going to let me keep him, no matter the cost. Moving into Blake's home should have felt like a victory, like I had outrun everything chasing me. The loan sharks, the gossip, the humiliation of being fired. Instead, every time I walked down his glass hallway, I felt like I was trespassing, like I was the temporary girl in the movie star's life. And then came the worst blow. Vivian St. James, Hollywood's ice queen, answered Blake's phone. Her voice slid through the speaker like honey over razors. He's a little busy right now. I knew Blake wasn't mine, not officially, but hearing her answer his phone still hollowed out my chest. And when his butler told me Blake wouldn't be home that night, I told myself it didn't hurt, but it did, more than I wanted to admit. I never meant for Cleo to hear Vivian's voice. My sister had grabbed my phone. Faye never respects boundaries, and before I could snatch it back, Cleo had already hung up. By the time I realized what had happened, she was gone, off to meet with that parasite Ronan Graves. Ronan, a man who was famous not for his movies, but for the number of young actresses he coerced behind closed hotel doors. I saw red. The moment I found out where he'd taken her, I was already out of the car, sprinting into the hotel room before the bellboy even blinked. And when I saw Ronan grabbing her, when I saw terror in Cleo's eyes, I didn't think, I didn't hesitate. I put Ronan on the ground, and I didn't stop until I knew she was safe. Ronan's grip still burned on my arm when Blake yanked him away. I had gone into the meeting fully intending to be professional, even though Julian had basically told me that my promotion depended on working my magic. But magic wasn't what Ronan wanted. It was never about the movie, just my body. And when Blake stormed in, furious and protective, part of me hated that I felt relief, because I wasn't supposed to need him. But in that moment, I did. He held my face gently after dragging Ronan away, checking for bruises like I was made of something fragile. And when I whispered the truth, that I thought he'd stopped caring, that someone else answered his phone, that I thought he was done with me, Blake looked like I'd punched him. He apologized. He held me. He promised I wasn't alone. I wanted to believe him, but trust isn't easy when your whole life has been people letting go. I was starting to realize something terrifying. I cared about Cleo Marlow more than was safe for either of us. But Hollywood didn't give a damn about safe. It tore apart anything tender, anything real. Even so, I wanted to prove myself. So I talked to Julian about her promotion, told him she deserved better, told him to stop treating her like she was replaceable. And for the first time, he listened. He asked her to announce the movie at a press conference. A huge step, I wanted to be there for her, but the day felt strange, unsettled. Vivian watched us like a hawk, her smile sharp enough to cut glass. When Cleo told me her dream was to be a casting director, I felt stupid for never asking earlier. She wasn't using me, she just wanted a real chance. And God, I wanted to help her get it. So I invited her to meet my friends, properly, publicly. But Viv was already waiting, and she had a plan. Meeting Blake's friends should have been a good sign. Normal, healthy, not a secret fling hidden behind movie sets and bodyguards. But the moment Vivian took my arm and offered to show me around, my stomach dropped. She guided me away from Blake, smiling like a mentor, speaking like a villain. Your fling won't last forever. Make the most of it. You and Blake aren't romance. You're a transaction. He doesn't hold on to girls like you. Each sentence sliced deeper. And then she put something in my drink. I didn't notice until the room tilted. My stomach lurched, and the world blurred. I couldn't remember what happened after that. Just Blake's voice, somewhere far away, sounding worried. The next morning, I woke up terrified that I had embarrassed him, that Vivian was right. So when Blake told me he wanted me, wanted us, I froze. Not because I didn't feel the same, but because I didn't trust the ground beneath my feet. Everything in Hollywood shifts, everything breaks, and I was scared to break with him. She didn't remember half of what I said that night. She didn't remember me confessing that I wanted her, only her, but she remembered feeling sick, dizzy, wrong. It wasn't until later that I learned Vivian had drugged her. I swear when I found that out, a part of me snapped. But first, I asked her to come to the Met Gala with me, to stand beside me, to be seen with me. No more hiding. She said yes, but there was hesitation in her voice, like she was preparing for the moment I'd inevitably break her heart. What she didn't know was that I'd already made up my mind. She wasn't temporary. She wasn't a fling. She was everything I hadn't realized I'd been missing. But then her life shifted again. New York offered her a casting director position, her dream job, and Vivian's claws dug in deeper. Miles, my publicist, pulled her aside and told her she needed to walk away from me for the sake of my career. And she believed him. She left, without a word. I told myself that leaving Blake was the smartest, safest thing I could do. His world was too big, too bright, too sharp at the edges, and I didn't belong there. Not next to Vivian, not next to fame, not next to ghosts of scandals. Miles wanted to resurrect, so I accepted the New York job, packed my suitcase, told myself I'd move on. But that night, Blake appeared at my apartment, drunk, exhausted, heartbroken, and asked me one question that shattered me. What do you really want from me? What did I want? Him. Safety. A life where I wasn't always running. But I told him the opposite. That we wouldn't work. That he should let me go. That he deserved someone like Vivian. Someone polished and perfect. He looked destroyed. And for the first time, I realized I had the power to hurt him. I didn't want that. But I still walked away. Watching her pack that suitcase felt like watching the future walk out of my hands. So I tried one last time. I brought her to the rooftop. The same one where I'd imagined confessing everything to her. And I told her the truth. You're the only one for me. Her eyes filled. Her walls trembled. But she still tried to pull away. Hollywood had convinced her she couldn't have me. Vivian had lied. Miles had lied. Her brother had betrayed her. Her boss had doubted her. Everyone she had ever trusted left scars on her. But not me. I wasn't going to be another one. When she told me she wanted to go, I asked her, the only question that mattered, what do you want? And for the first time, she broke. She told me she didn't want to go. She just didn't want us to destroy each other. But love is always a risk, and I was willing to fight for it. I stayed, not because Blake begged, not because I owed him, but because for the first time in my life, someone chose me and kept choosing me even when it cost them everything. But Hollywood wasn't done trying to tear us apart. Not by a long shot. Vivian wasn't finished. Miles wasn't finished. And Carter, he hadn't even gotten started. I thought surviving Vivian's poison, Ronan's hands, and my own fears would be the end of the chaos. But Hollywood never ends anything. The morning I returned to set for my final day before the supposed move to New York, I walked straight into Vivian's ambush. She didn't just want to humiliate me, she wanted to end me. She ordered me around like a servant, blamed me for spilled coffee I never carried, made snide comments loud enough for the crew to hear, each lie more vicious than the last. And then she staged the perfect trap, leaning close to her actor, whispering something, snapping a look my way, just in time for her friends to photograph it. Cleo sleeping her way up, they'd say. Same old hungry casting girl. The room turned into a courtroom. Everyone whispering, judging, assuming the worst. Until Blake walked in. I'd promised myself I wouldn't interfere. Cleo deserved to stand on her own. But the second I saw Vivian's smug face, the actor's shame, and Cleo shaking but standing her ground, I knew I couldn't stay silent. Everyone wanted a story, so I gave them one. Cleo is with me. A hush swept the set. No rumors, no secrets, just the truth. Cleo stared at me like she couldn't believe it, and Vivian looked ready to scream. For the first time in my entire career, I didn't care about the consequences. Cleo wasn't temporary. She wasn't replaceable. She was mine, and I wanted the world to know it. Hearing Blake claim me, not as a fling or a rumor, but as someone who mattered, felt like someone cracked open the clouds and let the sun hit me for the first time in years. But happiness never stayed long in my life, because right then, Carter showed up. My brother, my betrayer. He burst into tears, falling to his knees, sobbing about our father's surgery and our mother's heartbreak. He even dragged along a fake reporter to film it all. Blake Wilder, the man the world thought was unlovable, loved me, and I loved him. Not the fame, not the fortune, not the movie star, the man who fought every demon, every lie, every threat, just to keep me safe. My hero, my chaos, my love,